Good morning students, welcome to online class. Hope you are keeping well by the blessing of God. So students, once again I am with you and today I am going to teach you English literature from your reader book and chapter number 10, a poem. The name of the poem is The Village Schoolmaster and the poem, it is written by Oliver Goldsmith. Oliver Goldsmith, he was an Irish playwright, novelist and poet. Oliver Goldsmith, he was born in 1728 and died in 1774. So guys, this poem, it consists of 6 stanzas. Each stanza has 4 lines. So the poem, it is a reflection of the 19th century or during the time of Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution took place in Europe in between 1750 to 1760. So the poet has depicted the contemporary education system through the lines of the poem, and he has also highlighted a character of a village school teacher or a countryside schools teacher, and the plot is countryside or a rural place during that time. That means starting of Industrial Revolution. So we can see a vivid reflection of the time, and the poet is written during that period so that we can have a vivid idea about the countryside education system, about the students, about the masters or teachers of the contemporary time. So guys, I am just reading the poem before you. The students, those who have the book, you can open the book, you can go through it. And the students, those who don't have the book, you please pay attention. I am going to read the poem before you. Beside yon, Y-O-N, beside yon straggling fence that skirts the way, with blossomed firs, unprofitably gay, there in his noisy mansion, skilled to rule, the village master taught his little school. A man severe he was, and stern to view. I know him well, and every twant news. Every twant knew. Well had the boding tremblers learned to trace the day's disasters in his morning face. Full well they laughed with counterfeited glee at all his jokes, for many a joke had he. Full well the busy whisper, circling round, conveyed the dismal tidings when he frowned. Yet he was kind, or if severe in out, the love he bore to learning was in fault. The village all declared how much he knew. 'Twas certain he could write and cipher too. Lands he could measure, terms and tides presage, and over the story ran that he could gauge. In arguing too, the person owed his skill, for even though vanquished, he could argue still, while words of learned length and thunder and thundering sound amazed the gazing rustics ranged around, and still they gazed, and still the wonder grew, that one small head could carry all he knew. So this is the complete poem, and The poem depicts about a village schoolmaster. The plot is countryside during the 18th century, mid of 18th century, because it was on the starting period of Industrial Revolution in Europe. You can say the period of transition. Transition means one period it is going and another period it is coming. This point it is known as the transition. So Industrial Revolution took place between 1750 to 1760, and you have already noted down, guys. You open your notebook and note down the date of birth, that means the year he was born. The poet Oliver Goldsmith, he was born on 1728, that means early 18th century, and then he died 1774, the late mid of 18th century. So through the sixth stanza of the poem, the poet has depicted about the surroundings, about the villagers, and especially he has focused on the village schoolmaster. So the first stanza depicts, beside yon straggling fence that skirts the way, with blossomed firs unprofitably gay, there in his noisy mansion skilled to rule, the village master taught his little school. The first stanza depicts that an open air school, there is no, that means wall, neither there is any concrete boundary. It was an open air school, bushes and shrubs are there amidst the nature, that is the school. And the poet has depicted, or he has described the school as mansion. Nothing is there amidst the nature, but the poet says that there in his noisy mansion, his means the master's noisy mansion. Always the school, it is filled with noise of the pupils or the students. So it is his noisy mansion. Mansion means the building, that means amidst the nature. Shrubs, yellow flowers are visible in the shrub. Flowers are also, those are blossomed. And the schoolmaster, he teaches in that village school, countryside school, and he is the main teacher of the school. The village master taught his little school. This is his little school. School means, that means that a collection of students. That is called school. School means a group of students, group of people, knowledgeable people, or the students, that is school. School does not mean that building. Building doesn't mean school. School means group, collective. So here the collection of students, that is school. A man severe he was and stern to view. I means the poet himself, I knew him well and every truant knew. The man, that means this village schoolmaster, I knew him and every truant also knew him. Truant means the bunkers, that means the students who used to bunk the school, they without any intimation, without any information, and this is a common practice, and still it is practiced all over the world. It is practiced. So you know, guys, this very well. So even the bunkers, they also knew him, that what kind of person the village master was. Well, I had the boding tremblers learn to trace the day's disaster in his morning face. That means whenever the bunker, that means that absentees, they used to turn up the next day or after some days, they were trembling out of fear because they could read the face of their master that what is going to be happen in short span of time, that what is going to be happen shortly. That means they will definitely have a big scold from his master. Now full well they laughed with counterfeited glee at all his jokes, for many a joke had he. Full well the busy whisper circling round conveyed the dismal tidings when he frowned. This is also a common practice, especially it is visible in the village school, because the children, the students, they are villagers, their background is not so cultured. So it happens whenever the teachers, they turn towards the board to write something, and whispering starts, and the noise it becomes higher and higher. Gradually the same thing used to happen there also. They used to crack joke on that village master, and often it happened if master he used to scold them, they started laughing. And often it happened if the village master he used to crack any joke among the students, fake laughing, that means false laughing, they were pretending that they were enjoying. This sort of mischiefs the students used to do. So conveyed the dismal tidings. But if the village master he used to frown means crossed his eyebrows, that means he was annoyed with the students, then suddenly a gloomy, that means a gloomy look, it was visible on every face, that means visible on the faces of the students. Dismal means gloomy, despair, unhappy. Yet he was kind or severe in aught, the love he bore to learning was in fault. The village all declared how much he knew. It was certain, it was mean 'twas, apostrophe it is in the beginning, TWAS, it was, that you will pronounce it as 'twas certain he could write and cipher too. He was very much dedicated to his profession, and whenever there was any fault or error on behalf of the students, he used to correct that, and he was quite loyal towards his profession, and he was an intelligent teacher too. And the village declared, it was the opinion of the villagers